Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Oh in the Town. I'm Luke Gregory and here's what's coming up today. It's going down to the last game of the season after Luton get embarrassed by Fulham in front of the Sky cameras. One more huge game to come and today we build up to that game. Can we hold our nerve for one more game? Can we get the 3 points? How do we bounce back from the 7-0 defeat? Look, this is what football's all about. I know we were all a bit sad about yesterday's result, but look, this is coming down to one more game. We're going to be discussing that today. You shook your head, Dave, when I said Luton get embarrassed.
I wasn't embarrassed.
No?
No. Why should we be embarrassed?
I mean, I know Fulham were good, but I just feel like there's a stage where you shouldn't be losing a game 7-0.
No, you shouldn't be losing a game 7-0, but you've just got to put... I mean, I'm going to say it again, the word perspective. I'm not even going to talk about how far we've come. Think of the team we had to put out yesterday.
Yeah.
Think of a team. We were good for a bit, and then the better team won, and the better footballing team won, the rich football team won. And, you know, the guy that scored 43 goals. Anybody who thought we were going to go to Fulham, and you know, no, come on, yeah, but
welcome back, Matara, by the way, after being ill last week. But yeah,
anybody who went to Fulham thinking we're going to come away with 3 points was really clutching at straws. Nothing has changed for us. Nothing.
Well, our goal difference has got massively worse for a start.
No. If we win tomorrow on Saturday, then it's done. Yeah. Right? So nothing has changed. Disappointing? Yeah. Yes. I can't say embarrassing. Disappointing.
Not embarrassed by 7-0? But are you embarrassed by 7-0? Why would you? Because I just feel like there's just times in football, and look, people may disagree with me here, but I just think there comes a time where at 4-0 we just go, right, let's just not let any more in. Well,
don't you think they thought that? And
I don't know.
Listen, look at the team yesterday. They were just outclassed.
I mean, I just don't like to show my face the next morning to people that I know they're going to take the piss. So
the face, it's more embarrassing for us as fans because you are going to get the crap taken out of you. That's all.
Yeah, I had that at work this morning. Honestly, going into work this morning. Oh God, it's horrible. But
even my beer's getting excited.
It's good to have you back, Patara. Obviously, last week, Dave, you stepped in with Steve and Darren, did a very good job. I did listen.
Yeah, thank you. They enjoyed it.
I didn't, unfortunately.
They'd like to come back another time. That'd be great.
So I was a little bit annoyed after yesterday's 7-0, and I know you love to take the mick out of me and call me negative and all this, but I don't know. There was just something about yesterday's game. I was just really deflated, and I think it's because we had such a good away day, and we went to a few bars in London, and then we were all hyped up for it, and it was just kind of, I don't know.
It's almost like you got hit by an iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when we first got in the stadium, firstly, how does it work in London? Can I ask this question already? How can this work in London when you go to places like Fulham and you go to every bar and it's home fans only? We find a nice little bar, we have a few beers, and we get to the stadium and you're in the same end as the away fans, and home fans and away fans are together. It makes no sense whatsoever. No wonder there was a little bit of bother yesterday. No wonder. But, we had a good beer up. That's what I said. The atmosphere inside that stadium when we first got in there was amazing.
It was great, and Luton fans are brilliant.
As well.
Yeah, Luton fans are brilliant as always, but I don't know. I think we had enough time after the game yesterday to have a little moan between us about let's say the performance. Like you said, we started well in the first 20 minutes, didn't we? We actually started okay, but I feel like that we'll touch on the game. But I do think we should just mainly now look ahead to Reading, and especially with the result of Bournemouth and Forest tonight, the top two are done. So it is now just down to who's going to come fifth and sixth now.
Well, do you know what? Mark this one down. We're going to come fifth because we are going to win Saturday, and Sheffield United aren't. There you go. I've said it.
Oh gosh, you better hope we do. Otherwise, this will
I'm
end
not
up
saying
on like.
nothing because I said we were going to win 1-0 yesterday. So
You said we were 1-0 Mitrovic own goal.
yeah.
All right, let's quickly touch on the game then. 6 changes from Blackpool game. Obviously, we signed Matt Ingram. He come in for his debut. First of all, let's just say thoughts on that straight away. Ingram, look, Isted. He didn't have loads to do against Blackpool, to be fair to him. I think we said last week he maybe could have done a bit better with the pen. His kicking wasn't the best, but we couldn't take that risk, could we, of going into potentially the 3 or 4 biggest games in our recent history with a 17, 18-year-old keeper on the bench.
That's true. Darren called that last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
And, you got an experienced keeper in who's done, championship games before. I don't think you can really fault him for his performance yesterday. I think
It's a pretty bad one to be in for your debut, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit,
But look, you got to look at the defence as well, the midfield, the defence. No one helps each other out yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, the goalkeeper must be not really very good." I had a couple of people say earlier, and I thought, "Come on, you can't blame a goalkeeper for conceding 7 goals." I mean, fair enough if like 4 of them went under his legs, or do you know what I mean? He dropped the ball, but it wasn't nothing like that. It was
No,
just
exactly.
like
but their finishing yesterday was just, sublime. Some of their passing was quick. And
I don't think we helped ourselves in some of their goals, though.
Well, I agree with that.
I really don't.
I don't remember half of them, to be fair. So,
But, like, just before they scored their first goal, and I was thinking myself, and I think I said it to someone, we keep a clean sheet here to half time, we're all right. And as soon as I said it,
Yeah.
they bloody well
Conceded,
scored. Yeah, they scored. But, even that was a quick move. There's no way the keeper could have stopped that shot. No way in a million years. That was defensive
and talking,
frailties, maybe.
you used the term clutching at straws earlier, or you did, David. Whoever did anyway. It's a bit like the first goal that they scored as well. When Fred went down injured or whatever else, I think a lot of fans are complaining. Obviously, I know people are going to think to me, put the ball out of play. But realistically, if that was us on the attack, I would never ever want.
Well, so if that was at Kenilworth
I
Road,
don't expect.
yeah, if that was at Kenilworth Road, we'd all be fuming if a player went down and when we kicked it out. So,
100%.
And you know why that is, though? Because a lot of the time they're bloody faking it, aren't they? Let's be fair.
This is it. And to be fair, it doesn't matter if he's injured or whatever. He went down, whatever. You can play on. It doesn't state you have to put the ball out of play. And do you know what? I think it's just poor on our behalf, to be fair. And that's what stemmed. That's where it all came from. I think the heads went down after that. I think maybe people were feeling sorry for themselves. But look, just get over it. And we clearly didn't, so never mind.
Other players that come in then for the Fulham game were Ingram, Onyedinma, Burke, Lansbury, Hilton, Jerome, and for Isted, Bradley, Kyoso, Adebayo and Cornick. I was disappointed not to see Adebayo in the team, and I just hope it is just like a precaution that, if we just left him out, that he's going to be fit and ready to play Reading, because that'll fill me with confidence ahead of Saturday.
And that's the same reason why Campbell was withdrawn, to save him for Saturday. So let's hope that everything's going to where we put.
Was that actually, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And let's hope that the squad he puts out on Saturday, the team he puts out on Saturday, is our strongest team we've got.
I was saying to you yesterday on the way home from Fulham, I've just got my fingers crossed that we can get maybe at least 3 back, maybe 4. And I'm just thinking, obviously we've not heard what's wrong with Bree, but if we could have Bree, Bradley, Campbell and Adebayo back in that starting 11 for Saturday.
Just a spine on the team.
I don't know.
Nice, wouldn't it?
I would just go into that feeling so much more confident than I am right this second now with injuries
to be
and stuff.
fair, we need leaders, people that are going to take control as well, and personality, and we're lacking that yesterday, weren't we?
Yeah, but we need our fans also to play their part on Saturday. You've got to make that noise unbelievable at Kenilworth Road on Saturday.
And realistically, let's face it, if we go and win 1-0 and we play absolutely horrendous and we get absolutely dominated with 1-0, we'll take it. It doesn't matter. People might go, oh yeah, but it's not, it's not in good stead for the playoffs because you want to make sure you look good. It doesn't matter about that. Just grind out results. I don't care how we win it or how we do it, but we're going to do it anyway, so the confidence is there.
Let's rattle through the Fulham goals then. The first one, obviously, like you said, Onyedinma was down and I don't know what happened. We just didn't pick up Kearney and he's all alone on the edge of the box, smashes it in. The second one, header fell to Tete, whose shot went in past Ingram from quite a distance, actually. And it's actually a pretty good finish. When I watched it back, I was it's pretty good. But producer Jacob said it. Mention Hilton.
Yeah, mention Hilton because he didn't move.
I don't know because Hilton goes
No, it was said
towards him and then just stands and
Stopped.
watches him run past him. I'm
Yeah.
just like,
I don't really remember it, to be fair.
How many beers do you have? Bloody hell.
I'll
He
put
just
it-
stood there. He just,
Dave, I've still
yeah.
got the headache from yesterday.
I
put it
think,
that way.
I do think that that's the difference between us and like a Fulham, and is we've given him so much time, whereas maybe if that's the other way round, whoever loses, like if whoever loses that ball,
but you mean a team from
busts
the
a nut to get back and make that tackle or
yeah,
block.
I give you that. But you mean a team from the Premier League who have spent millions of pounds keeping their squad together against us?
Yeah, but
The
you're
class
saying
was
that
there. The class was
and
there.
I know we had injuries, right? And this is the thing. I went into work this morning, and one of the analysts at Brentford were like, "Look, just because you've got injuries, you shouldn't still be losing a game of football. They're only
seven.
5 places above us, and I know they're unreal. Yes, they've got £100 million squad,
Right.
but
Do you know what though? Here's the thing.
Yeah, no,
Here's the thing. They've won more. They've won 7-0 three
times
times.
this
Okay.
season, yeah, definitely.
Think back when we started our season winning 8-2 and then 7-0 and that. When that and we were miles better than everybody else. Was that embarrassing? Nah. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
For the other
But-
team,
but,
yeah.
No, what I'm saying
No
is,
one wants to lose 7-0.
no, but when you're on the top of your game and you're much better than the opposition because of injuries or not, that wasn't our first team proper.
Yeah, but and this is my point though. Even though it's not our first 11, there's still decent footballers out on that pitch. You've still got Snodgrass, you've still got Lansbury, you've still got Cameron Jerome, and Burke and Lockyer have been part of our back threes and back fives
maybe
this
the
season and
legs weren't
stuff.
there, though.
Bell's a regular star. Kyoso we all rave about. We are using this excuse that we've got 9 injuries, and don't get me wrong, we have got injuries, and that did play a part in
9 first team injuries, not peripheral players.
But it's not like we've had to play a bunch of under 18s that have never. Like, we are still playing a good team there, and that is a good, solid team. That I think if we fielded that against another Championship side, we might get a win.
So then Fulham are in the place they are because of their superiority for the whole season, not just one game, the whole season, and their millions have helped them do that. So you're up against it. Anybody, as I said at the beginning, anybody who went to that game yesterday seriously thinking we're going to come away with 3 points, hoping, yes,
Look at you.
No, there's a difference between hoping and guarantee. Are we going to go and we're going to do it? But hoping you do it, we all went there hoping we'd get a result. I was hoping we wouldn't concede more than 2.
I honestly thought we'd maybe go there and lose 2-1, maybe 3-1, but I thought it would be tighter.
But when the couple of goals went in, the heads went down, didn't they? Really, that's how I felt about it. We just couldn't cope with their pace. We couldn't cope with their passing. What did we offer? Not a lot.
Goals 3 and 4. Carvalho cut inside, beautiful finish past Ingram. Mitrovic kind of got a bit lucky, a bit of deflection, and then poked it past. At this time, we'd left 5 and 6. I think I read. I watched this back. One was a long shot. Yeah, Series was a long shot, and Reed took it round the keeper apparently.
What, Reed scored again?
Oh.
No, Kearney got the first one, didn't he? Sorry.
5 and 6, and I forget we have a 7th as well. Mitrovic scored.
It's too many.
Yeah, it's a bit
to
poor.
count,
Do you know
Too
what?
many goals to look back on, but
to be fair, I think I only saw 1 goal.
yeah.
You're
having a beer, weren't you? And then when you come back up, we're leaving. See you later, mate.
But there's not many times you'll see us beat by that score.
No, well, I was going to say, right, because Mike Simmons did a stat here. Just the one Luton player is featured in both them 7-0 defeats at Brentford and Fulham, which was Dan Potts. And it's an interesting stat, and I know this goes back to what I was saying about, proves your point more than mine about the injuries. From that 1-1 draw with Fulham in December, only Burke, Bell and Naismith were the ones to start yesterday, which I know you said
exactly,
shows the injuries, but...
And how good were we with that day? How good were we with that day? We should have come away with more than what we got. And so when you're a bit part player, or you don't get on the in the first team as much as you should, and then no disrespect to Hilton and Jerome, but you haven't got your young striker up front who's been on fire for most of the season. What do we expect?
Before we move on then and just focus more on Reading, I wanted to ask, is there a difference between the last time we lost 7-0 to this time? Does it feel different?
Yeah, of course. We're doing a lot better nowadays. When we lost 7-0 to Brentford, we were absolutely horrendous that season, weren't we? Let's face it, we were. I mean, we stayed up at the end of it, fine, but at that point in time, I can't remember what month it was in. Was it maybe a January or a November? No, I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
That was embarrassing, wasn't it?
And I think that set the tone. I think at that point, we were like minus 23 goal difference at that point. I mean, you look at it now, we're complaining about our goal difference. We're still on +7. We're still on plus figures, which is not a bad thing.
It's a shame that we conceded so many. I think we're more optimistic. Listen, this has been a spectacular season for us this season. It's spectacular, and we're still in with it. We're still in the ship.
I got really upset this morning as well. A few people saying to me that, they were going, I think last night just proved that you're punching well above your weight, and you probably shouldn't be there. I was like, well, we probably clearly should be there because we're there.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that statement, you're punching above your weight. Maybe we are punching what we're doing with our budget. That's fine. But I think all season long, we've...
Results-wise, proved
that we can compete with most teams. And, like I say, on our day, we can compete. Unfortunately, yesterday was just a blip. And for people to sit there and say that, Luton are punching and Luton have just proved that they're not actually that good, and people are saying that they're people that aren't watching football week in week out, and they're not watching Luton Town Football Club playing football week in week out.
Or they're supporters of a team that's below us in the division who think they've got the right to be above us. Or
they're just Premier League
teams like Luton. That's what it is. Go with it. It's always been a joy watching this team. It's ups and downs 100%. All the time.
We love it. The thing is, we love it. I mean, we lose 7-0. We're probably going to beat Reading 5-0 now next week. That's the way it goes.
We've got. If we can go and do that, then it's fantastic, isn't it?
Well, let's look ahead to the Reading game then. We asked a few questions out on social media today. Will the Fulham result affect the team? How do we bounce back? Will we get to the playoffs? And I guess I wanted to start asking you two. And this isn't me being negative. I just feel like we should cover both sides. If we don't get in the playoffs, right, and I know there's a lot of Luton fans going, no matter what happens, we've had a brilliant season. Will that emotion at full time, say we lost on Saturday, would that be more overriding of, look, we've had a great season, that's just unlucky? Or would you be more like, I feel like we've missed a chance here to get into the playoffs?
All depends on the results, though.
True.
But if we do miss out, then I'll be very upset. I will be upset. I mean, I think everyone will be upset about it because realistically, we've come such a long way this season. And whatever we say, it's been a very good season, but I don't think it'll be a very, very good season without qualifying for playoffs because realistically, 3 games ago, it was in our hands and we were like, do you know what? I sat here and said we're 100% doing it.
It's still in our hands. Remember that. It's still in our hands.
I didn't mean it's not in our hands, but you know what I mean? It's if we come away losing to Reading and results go against us,
well, that'd be a shambles. That'd be a disappointing end to the season. It would be a very disappointing end to the season. But you'd stand at that ground and you'd cheer your team out because they've been sensational this season. But it would be disappointing because we've built ourselves up to be there. The press have been saying what a brilliant season we've had, and we know we're going to make the playoffs. And it would be disappointing not to make them. Not to mention the amount of crap you'll get on socials and everything else from supporters of the other clubs. That would do my head.
You're kind of ready for it. Look, we've got producer Jacob in charge of our Twitter, so I'm pretty sure no matter what happens on Saturday, he's going to be 100% on his game.
And he knows all about the playoffs. Lack of playoffs, should I say. Sorry.
As a Plymouth fan. In case you missed it, he's been bannering Forest fans all night on Twitter, which has been great. But, all right, so that's potentially what would happen if we didn't make the playoffs. But look,
you asked whether the Fulham result would affect the team. I think it's going to have a positive effect on us.
Yeah,
I think they're going to come out and go, this ain't happening again. We are not going to let this get away.
We're not going to lose 7-0 home to
No.
We're going to lose 4 instead.
No, they will not. The players, as much as the fans, the players will not want to let this opportunity go. Some of them might not get this opportunity again. So they will not want to let this opportunity go. So they're going to go out, they're going to give their all. And I just hope it's enough.
It will be enough. We're going to win. We will win.
I do feel like when it's a game of this importance and it is like you said, like a must win now, like this is a must win.
Yeah.
That we do have players that and I'm going to use Snodgrass as an example, who is a big player with massive experience that, I don't know, I feel like
experience there.
They're the type of players that I just feel like will get everyone up for this and be like, look, let's just get over the line here. Let's just go out and do whatever we have to do to win. Bodies on the line and make sure we get them 3 points on Saturday.
They have to, mate. They have to, realistically. It's like, okay, fine if we don't get it, but they have to. They know that it's riding on it now. I mean, look, results could go our way. We could still lose and we could still qualify for playoffs. Fine, whatever. But we have to. We have to get the playoffs. We have to.
But do you really think, given that Fulham are playing Sheffield United and Bournemouth are playing Mill, do you think they're just going to roll over and die and say, "Oh, okay, you had the points because we don't want Luton to be in the playoffs"? Of course they won't. They're going to go out there and finish the season on a high. So it's going to be just as tough for the other teams. We know we have to win. We'll get out there. We'll put an amazing performance and we'll get that 3 points.
How do we get the 3 points then? Because you look at the starting 11 against Fulham. I know Nathan Jones said about, obviously, Alan Campbell was feeling a little bit in his legs, so he's not risked him. We hope that's potentially the same with Adebayo. I haven't heard any news about him. So it's kind of like, if everyone's fit again, well, not everyone, but like we do have like Campbell back, Adebayo back, do we set up differently to how we did against Fulham?
Well, you're going to set up differently anyway. Because I mean,
Clark, come on,
Fulham,
obviously.
Reading, Clark.
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah.
When yesterday?
Good.
Did he? Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry. All language, sorry, yeah, but...
Beer.
So we do have, we've got looks like potentially new options and hopefully a couple more players to come back into the squad
But
for
the
Saturday.
thing is, of course we're going to set up differently. I mean, we're never going to set up like we did against Fulham yesterday because that was just, I don't know what it was a sham, but either way, you know, with all due respect to Reading, you're playing Reading rather than a Fulham. They're not going to play the same style of football. I mean, they're doing all right, to be fair to them, recently, but they are shipping a lot of goals as well, so I think we can exploit that.
And let's not forget,
Clark, if we get any buyer back as well, if he's fit, then we can score a couple of goals at least.
And I guess the bright way of looking at yesterday's result and going forward is, if you would have said to us on the first podcast of the season that it's going to come down to Reading at home in the final game, if you win, you get in the top 6, everyone would have taken it. Everyone would have taken it.
Of course.
And I think the other thing is it'd be a bit different if we were 7th right now looking to get into the top 6. It's just because we've been in the top 6 for a while and you fear dropping out of it and you fear that the opportunity's gone. I just genuinely think the players will turn up Saturday and I think we'll be in for an exciting time.
Are you going to be nervous about it?
Yeah, of course I am. Of course I am.
Think about it now, man. I'm cold. It's very cold.
Why wouldn't you be nervous? I mean, what do we want? As fans, we want success, don't we? We want that little bit of recognition and success, highest up the table as you can be. So, yeah, we're going to be nervous until the second goal goes in for us and then we'll be happy.
And then also, these are the games that, I think we did mention this a few weeks ago. I can't remember what game it was before or after, but these are the games as fans that we love at the end of the day. This is why we watch football, is for moments like this on Saturday. And I think I saw a tweet saying we weren't there when we beat Blackburn on that final game to stay up in the Championship, but we weren't there at Watford when we won 1-0, but we're all going to be there Saturday and
we've got to make it the best we can.
We have to.
We genuinely have to. If that place is not rocking like it can do, then there's something wrong with us as fans.
I just hope the sun's out as well.
Everybody's just stand up and sing as much as you can. That's what I would say.
Oh, it's going to be nervy, isn't it? Okay.
But, that's what beer's for.
Here's what you guys said about Reading at the weekend. Danny says, Fulham have been smashing teams all season. Mitrovic earns more in a week than some of our players do in a year. It was always going to come down to a cup final against Reading on Saturday.
Well, you can't even disagree with that, can you?
No.
So
says about Fulham result affecting team. He said it shouldn't do. It's time for the experienced players to step up. The circumstances have obviously played a part in the result. How do we bounce back? He says we need to have another way of playing. We try to fit players to the formation rather than change the formation to suit the players. And will we get playoffs? Have to win, he says. It's a good point, though, because it'd be good if we could go into the final game and we could have players in their proper positions. And, Naismith obviously fills in for Campbell against Fulham. It'd just be nice to have Naismith in that back line. And if it is with Lockyer and Burke, with maybe Kyoso and Bell and Campbell
It's
back in.
comfortable. It's comfortable, though. It's comfortable.
Especially at home. Meg says, I think the defeat will always affect the team, but hopefully won't be too hard on them. How do we bounce back? She says, not having any more injuries in training. If we have a positive mindset for Saturday, we should bounce back. And will we get playoffs? Hopefully, but if not, we should be proud of the team for their efforts this season, but I think we will.
Yeah.
It's true. You know,
We'll be proud in either way, but we have to.
that last
have
step
that
is that
positive mindset
last.
on.
It's that last thing. You know. Do you know what? If we go to the Premier League, it pays for our stadium. You know, don't be under. So yeah, and why not? Well, let's just court the playoffs and see what happens.
Do you reckon our style of play is affecting the amount of injuries we get in? Because
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think-
Of course, it's going to.
I don't think any other team has as many as us, but it does seem, and I know Nathan Jones says it in his post-match all the time, but it seems like everyone's just dropping like flies at the moment, and he does always say it's the demand we put on them and the way we play, and it is that high energy and that high press all the time that these players they're clearly fit, and
They're exerted, though, aren't they? That's the thing.
it's just like, is it just too much to do that all the time? Like, how do we do
I'd love to
it?
see what it does in training, because well, you look at it and you go, why? Why are they dropping like that? What is the workload that he's giving them during the week? Is he giving them enough rest time? I don't know. Look, he'll know what's best for him. Maybe it's what's best, what's getting them the most performance out of what they're doing. But
then we say that, and
sometimes
we look.
probably
Shay's
clever.
injury was a collision. Bree's
Yeah.
injury was a collision. Onyedinma's Dimmers was a muscle against Cardiff, but
there's been a lot of muscular injuries this season.
yeah.
A lot of them.
But then what does that come down to? That's
Maybe working too hard. But look, maybe not. But then saying that, if you didn't work too hard, maybe the training and your improvement in your game wouldn't be as good. So look,
Yeah,
it's-
and then we're not sixth. We're not
This
sixth,
is it,
playing
yeah,
fifth.
of course.
We're 14th, fearing going lower. Yeah. So no, you know.
You can never write it, really, can you? It is what it is, but you never know. Let's hope that he's given a little light session this week. He's just doing like mental sort of like work with them.
They will have their game plan sorted. They will know what we've got to do. They will know what this means to the fans, and they will know what it means for the club. They will get out there and they will be totally on it. That's how I feel. Reading will be there to spoil the party. Let's hope we get an early goal.
Hat 60 says hopefully not, but getting the first goal on Saturday might be crucial in settling the nerves of the players. Not sure about us fans though.
Yeah, he's right, because 1-0 we're always a bit jittery, aren't we? 2-0, you relax a bit, don't you?
And obviously our record come to an end when we lost to QPR of not losing when we take the lead. But like he says, if we do take the lead at the weekend, if we can get back to that stage where normally that means we don't lose, that's, like he said, could be absolutely huge.
See, we're
Take
going to have to drink more beer before we go on Saturday, aren't we?
I'm getting nervous already, man. I'm supposed to be going to bed soon. It's not good.
Super says it shouldn't affect the team losing to the best team in the league with so many players out injured. Yes, the result isn't the best, but it's always going to be a free hit in our schedule. We just have to get behind the team on Saturday, and we'll have 2 more matches this season, maybe 3. Do you know what? The thing with the Fulham game, I think they lost their last 2 at home, didn't they? To Coventry and to Forest. So you kind of looked at it and thought,
It's the bounce
chances of
back
them,
phase, yeah.
they have to win the title. The chances of them losing 3 at home when they've been unreal
On
all
their
season.
final home game as well.
The
Yeah,
biggest
it's-
thing, I think, the
yeah.
biggest thing about the result,
Written from.
is the scoreline. If it had been 2 or 3-0, you'd have gone, yeah, okay. But it's because it was 7. That's why everybody started to panic.
Maybe we are just making everyone look at us and think, all right, we want Luton in the playoffs.
Well, of course they're all going to say that, and especially Nottingham Forest fans are going to say that, aren't they? They want Luton in the playoffs, And I'll tell you something else. If we do get to the semi-finals, they're going to want us in the final because they'll think that they can easily beat us. That's what's going to happen.
Darren said, hopefully the effect will be a positive one. Weirdly, losing like that was probably better than a 1-0 loss. We'll bounce back. I think we've won every match straight after a defeat this season. We will make the playoffs, as will Borough. I think it's Sheffield United that should be worried.
Yeah, because if Sheffield United don't win, or at least draw, they have a problem because we're going to win.
I'd actually be really interested to know if losing 7-0 gives you more of a positive reaction than, say, losing 1-0.
I think so, yeah. I think you go back to basics and you, not shut up shop, but you, what's the word? What's the term? Sorry.
If you,
hello.
but if you lose 1-0, you go and think, oh, that's unlucky. You know, we've had our chances, we haven't taken them, we lose 1-0. Yeah, we were good. But when you lose 7-0, you go in and say that's disastrous, don't you?
Surely go back to basics a little bit more. Right? You try and get a goal and you don't concede, and maybe you don't go for it as much.
The first thing you want to do is tighten up at the back there, and then the second thing you want to do is go out and prove it was a freak result. That's what you want to go prove, surely. You don't lose 7-0 every season, do we?
No, but that's why I'd be interested to know what kind of effect it does have. And Cal Naismith said in his post-match after the Fulham game that they were very quick in the dressing room after the game just to go, look, we have to put this to bed. We have to forget about this. I think Nathan Jones put up a schedule or a presentation on a screen in the change room, which I think he said had their plans for the season, and they're on track, they said. So I think from their point of view, it's that game's gone. Yeah, there's no point now. Look, you debrief and you go, this is what we could have maybe done a bit better, which we can take into the next game.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it now because it's done.
Concentrate on the one we have to worry about, which is Saturday. It's exciting, though. Don't you think it's exciting to be in this position? I think it's really exciting.
It's also doing something strange to my mental state. So
I tell you what,
I know what it is.
You get a bit fed up, and if you go on social media, you know, and you pop around all the Luton social media, there are some fans that are going absolutely ballistic about losing, and you just think, come on, get a grip. Just get a grip of where we are, get a grip of how good we've been, and then just
a bit of realism.
I think, realism, but support the team for the last game. Support the team and make sure we get them over that line, because that's why we go.
Dale says, yesterday's result will make the team more determined. We will beat Reading to make the playoffs. I fear that winning the playoffs may be a step too far with the current injury crisis. However, whatever happens, I'm a proud supporter of my team and everyone involved in our club.
Yeah.
Well done, Dale. I would say it's going to happen. If we get to the playoffs, it's anybody's game. It's what happens on the day, isn't it? Over 2 legs, you know, you might be well in it at the end of the first game, or you might be well out of it. You can't tell. It's 3 cup finals.
You look at the game we watched tonight before doing the podcast, obviously Bournemouth securing promotion against Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth did look very good in that second half, but you kind of like, and this is just on the playoffs, Forest still had that chance where they at the bar. They still had a chance in like the last minute of the second half when the keeper plays that free kick through to their strike, and you just think like, it could be in the playoffs. If you're going to concede, keep it at 1, not 7. You always get that chance to equalise or have a moment of your own.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We have the players and the quality for even a game like Saturday against Reading to make the chances. And then if we get into the playoffs, we've got the players to take chances if we get them.
Look, I think if we get into the playoffs, which I think we should, and I hope we will, then it is a bit of a lottery almost. It's, you know, it is what it is. If we get through to the final, that'll be an amazing day out.
And do you know what the thing is? Well, I think Reading as well at home, they have nothing to play for. They've had a bit of a weird season.
Oh, that worries me though when they have nothing to play for.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. And the thing is, they're not actually that a bad team. I mean, they concede a lot of goals, but they are a funny team. 1 minute they'll turn over a top team, next minute they'll lose to like a team with like probably 10 injuries like ourselves. But so I don't know. Reading
were always a bit of a bogey team for us though.
I have never forgiven Reading since the Simod Cup final. I was so angry that day. Never forgiven them. So I hope we turn them over.
Should we get into some Instagram questions to finish today then?
Yeah, let's do that.
Gina says, were fans right to overreact about the defeat, or do you find some of the comments embarrassing?
Look, everybody has...
I didn't see him, to be fair.
Well, I'll answer that. I think some of the vitriol that have come out of some Luton Town fans is wrong. Totally wrong. Overreact.
Who's been overreacting? Because
well, you know, they're all saying that, you know, we're not good enough. We're not good enough for this. We're not good enough for where we are. We've already commented on that. You know, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. It's rubbish.
Have people been saying that though?
Yes, they have. You should look on the socials. I just feel,
I'd like to think me saying I think losing 7-0 is embarrassing isn't overreacting.
No.
It's embarrassing for whom? The club or for you as a supporter?
I just think you shouldn't lose a game 7-0. And I know Fulham have done it 3 times, but I feel like they shouldn't have lost them games 7-0
and
either,
in the last 10 seasons, how many times we lost 7-0?
Twice.
There you go.
That's 5.
Well, I'll tell you something else. If we go to the Premier League, it might happen more often at this rate. But
yeah, but then we've got
City,
180 mil in the bank. So yeah, who cares if we've got the money in the bank and new stadium paid for?
Every fan's entitled to their own opinion about the game. Every fan can voice their opinion.
I mean, we said we started well in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Until they scored, yeah.
Are fans right to overreact was the question. The answer is every fan has their right to react as they want to, but I think some of the overreaction was too much.
Maybe overreact next week if we don't qualify for playoffs.
Why?
But
why would you do that?
no, I'm saying to the people that overreacted about the Fulham result.
Okay, but
Then
why?
overreact. No, I'm not saying that it's right to do.
Into the
it.
mic, mate.
I'm saying, sorry, what I'm saying is.
But isn't it?
I'm
This
not saying
is
it's right to overreact though, Dave. I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
right to,
I
but
get
I'm saying maybe after if we play against Reading and we're shit against Reading, we lose 5-0. Then maybe overreact after conceding 12 goals.
This is the highest position we're going to finish in for years. Don't overreact to that. Congratulate the club for doing that. That's an achievement. It's the highest we've been for years.
Yeah.
Sorry for overreacting.
Paul says, was the Fulham game the worst game you have been to? I'm going to probably say no. But
Well, firstly, Batara
That's
don't
worse.
mention. You don't remember half of it, so you can't answer that question, can you?
do you know what I'll say, right?
Is
Is when we went to Fulham in our first season back in the Championship and it was 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
And I felt like that was just a really poor away day. And I think it was...
Yeah, it was.
Because it was the first time we've mingled with the home fans. And to this day, I still do not understand why Fulham do that. Obviously, the trouble at half-time, I think, was something to do with that. But
Well, when they open that newsstand, maybe they won't do that. But is it the worst game I've ever been to? The worst?
That's coming from 3 people that watch us in the conference days and have seen us lose
I'll
at
be
places that sound like...
Yeah, but I'll be honest.
Magic
I
spells
think
and
Reading
stuff.
away we lost 3-0 in the first season back.
Yeah.
Was probably the worst away game I've been to. Yeah,
Rained a
it was
lot.
horrendous.
It doesn't mean away games, any game.
It's
You know,
shite.
how about being 3-0 up at home and losing 4-3? That's a terrible game. You know,
Who was that against?
was it Wrexham or someone like that?
I can't
Some
remember.
Welsh team.
God, this
We were
was the
3-0
Wrexham.
up and cruising, and we lost 4-3. I can't remember who it was.
I remember we lost to Northampton after being 3-1 up one year, 4-3.
Do you know what? Even
And Carlisle.
can I just say, even losing to people
Tuesday
like
night.
Stevenage really wound me up. So
Seems like Stevenage.
yeah, but it wound me up
That's it.
totally. And
They still won me up, Dave, because they've survived this year again.
Either way, I don't think Fulham was the worst game I've been to, but as an away day, it was good up until
we had to watch the football.
Yeah,
Yeah, the whole day was
Yeah.
brilliant,
it was a great day.
and then football spoiled it a little bit. But
I've
you know what?
I've
Even
realised I don't actually like football. I like the beer.
no, but you know what? The singing and the atmosphere from Luton was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it's the last away game of the regular season, and it was an absolute blast. Apart from the score.
James says, is there any point in getting playoffs? We have no players left.
Yep.
Yes. Sam says, who do you put on your retained list for Luton? It's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously you don't know. Whatever league you're going to be in is going to be different, but
If they get promoted, all of them.
all of them.
All of them. I think they're.
Mate, to be fair, if they get promoted, this squad gets promoted, then you tell me why each and every single person has competed for Luton this season, or played, sorry, should I say. Why don't they deserve a chance? Premier League.
Well,
I mean,
listen, you can take that back to the Fulham game last night, and you
Yeah.
can see why they don't deserve a
Yeah, but
chance.
it's disjointed though, David. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So it's good, David. That's what
Look,
it is.
Can you imagine going up and our easiest game technically would be like Fulham or Bournemouth?
Or Brentford.
I know there's no easy game. Or Brentford, we have the Amber. But no, but it's seriousness. I think if we were to go up, we'd have to have a big transfer window, obviously. But I do think it's going to be a big window anyway, because I do think like last year where we got rid of Colo and Pearson and we moved someone that have been with us for a while, I think the start of or this end of this season, start of next season is another situation where we are going to have to maybe move a few on that have been loyal and been with us maybe for a while. And rebuild again and go again.
The team, the management have always got that in hand, haven't they? And you know what? If we stay in the Championship, then you've still got the likes of possibly playing, the 3 Premier League teams that come down with millions of pounds again. And one of those could be Everton, for goodness sake. Come on.
Imagine that, Jesus. Let's face it as well, right? If we do get promoted, and you say about a big transfer window, we're not going to be signing big Premier League experienced players or that sort of stuff. You know that.
No, and
we're going to be
not
signing
spending loads of money.
We're signing sort of like, good Championship players. Maybe not on a scale what Norwich did or Bournemouth or whatever else in their transfer windows, but you're probably going to talk. You're looking at gems from that league. You're looking, they're quite young. You can probably get them for a small fee. It's not going to be players that you're looking at and go, we can sign Todd Cantwell now, all that sort of stuff. But obviously, I know he's at Bournemouth. You know what I mean, though. It's not.
I'd fully expect if Luton to get to the Premier League, we'd sign a team capable of competing in the Championship if we were to go down from the Premier League.
This is it. Yeah.
Well, the expectation is not to stay
with maybe
up,
a couple of experienced heads. Brentford got Ericsson. I said we could get Bale or something if we went up.
Sorry,
we get Bale or something.
Sorry, what? Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale.
Oh, good God.
Can you imagine?
Playing golf, mate.
Are you still overhung from yesterday, you two? Come on, talk sense.
Don't look at me.
Talk sense.
Was it?
I think...
you never know.
The recruitment...
There was rumours about Hull City signing Mesut Ozil this month on social media.
Yeah, but that's a lot of shite.
No,
to be fair.
Listen, the recruitment team will recruit for... I think you're right. I think they'll recruit for a very strong team that compete in either division. And no one expects, if we go up, no one, and if you disagree with me, I apologise, but no one expects Luton to go up and stay up. No one. They would look at us to go up and come straight back down again. And I hope we prove them wrong if we do go up.
I expect European football 3 years.
Well, how great would that be?
To be fair, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Barcelona away.
Never really.
Do you reckon maybe in 3 years you'll be able to talk into the mic?
Imagine Mark Crowther having to bloody ride to a European away game. There's a challenge, Mark. There's a challenge, Mark.
There you go.
Well, that's all we got time for today. Let's hope that this time next week we're all sat here talking about how we're going to start a little brand new mini series of a podcast ahead of the playoffs. So let's just fingers crossed. Hope this is going to happen. One more big game to come.
What a national lotto.
Well,
yeah, no, it's
full of it. What is going on?
Sorry?
What is going on with you tonight?
All I know is I'm very tired and I love football.
You're right.
I really hate it at the same time.
One more game. Everybody get behind the team. Whatever you thought about Tuesday or Monday, get behind the team, roar them over that line, and then we'll have 2 great games to get to Wembley.
And if we get to the playoffs as well, we have a party on Saturday, didn't we?
Yeah, we'll
Everyone's
have a party.
welcome.
No,
party
I'll
every
send
single
you
night.
on
social media.
party every single night until the first leg. But look,
I might take a week off work if we actually win the playoffs.
I don't know what we'll do if we win the playoffs, but let's take it. Let's take it a game. Let's do a footballer or football manager say. We'll take it game by game. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. One more big game to come at the weekend. Can't wait for it.
Let's get excited. Let's get on top of it and get excited and let's have it.
Well, we'll see. This time next week, let's see how we get on. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.